mamy coraz więcej pożarów w Portugalii. Mamy pożary także na południu Włoch, w Grecji. Polska ma bardzo interesujące zasoby techniczne w dziedzinie leśnictwa.
We're very happy that you come to help us as volunteers from far on the other edge of Europe.
Od 30 lat się zajmuję nauką prawa konstytucyjnego. Moje badania naukowe ukierunkowały się ku prawom człowieka i ku obywatelstwie.
We are here in the West, you come from the East. We are very happy to welcome you. To recover a piece of the moon back to Earth. Because it was like a moon here. Everything burned.
We came here to express our gratitude to nature. We have been for 5 days actually here in nearby Aroca with a group of people, mainly young people, about 120 people.
Welcome to this event. All this has to be planted. We're gonna plant at first 5 lines from Pinheiro Manso. 5 lines, 5 meter distance. 20-25 meters more down, we're gonna plant oaks. Here one, and we have here and here. You're gonna show all how to make it, okay? Don't speak Polish, sorry.
Temos mais ou menos 2.000 plantas a fazer. Há estas que eu mostro.
They are not inflammable, so they resist to burn. More.
Thank you, friends of the earth.
Thank you.
Josh!
People who come here are people from all backgrounds, all kind of professions, all kind of even ages are a large spectrum. So the youngest person this time has about 16 years and the oldest 75. These are activities where everyone can participate. We have students, we have teachers, we have lawyers, we have judges, we have medical doctors, we have architects, engineers.
It was already 80. I followed up what was happening in Poland. This wonderful and huge movement of solidarity, Solidarność. And I went there as a photographer. That was my first ever reportage in Poland. I made in Poland. Later I became really a photographer and I made lots of work in the whole world. And that made me thinking we have to do something against what is going to happen in the whole world. If you want forest for the next generation, we have to plant it. We have to do basic matters. We have to start to clean the land.
Pierwszy rząd idzie wzdłuż tych palików. Następny około 3 metrów i przesunięcie to 4-5 metrów.
5 metres, 3 metres. Pour les arbres
Second, open the earth that we have holes where we can plant.
entre les plants et plus bas on fait 3 metres. Ok? 5 metres, 3 metres.
Problemem był sam rejon, gdzie sadziliśmy, który odnawialiśmy. To rejon górzysty, a więc i nachylenie stoków, skały, i pozostałości drewna, pozostałości pożarzysk.
We get the plants for free from a project what is very, very important here in Portugal. It's called Floresta Comum. It's common forest, created by NGO. I was there involved in the beginning, 2010, 2011. 90% is volunteers.
A nie ma do końca, nie do końca. W stosunku do nich trochę przesunąć później, nie? Następny omet, żeby nie były w linii.
I represent a non-government organization. It's called Movimento Gaio. Movimento, it's movement. Yeah. Gaio is a bird who seeds in the forest trees, oaks.
Então vocês têm que verificar se a planta carvalho. É que é carvalho.
I came to Portugal by chance 16 years ago. I worked here as a printer. I need to establish my livelihood. They call discovering. They built parks. The kings wanted gold. So they cut oaks and chestnut trees. They cut them all. So sea is over there. They built their boats, millions. One of these parks needed 1,500 trees. 1,001. Yeah. The time changed just like this. Then they joined the European Union. I don't want to blame the European Union for everything, but this was for Portugal a mess.
Tylko w miarę ciężka. Dobra, lecimy.
Everything what was growing here was not needed.
Pójdźcie, jak idzie tutaj teren, a nie prosto.
They go to Spain. They implanted everything in Spain. USA has the greenhouses. They plant. They sell. Portugal stays like this, has no sustains. So what they did? They imagined, somebody said it needs to be eucalyptus. We have now in Portugal more eucalyptus in this small country than in Australia, where it came from. Imagine this. This is crazy. It's insane. And what is about the eucalyptus? It contains oil, very high flammable. So it burns like hell. This pines burns like hell. So we have two kinds of monoculture: pines, eucalyptus. You will see there around. What's there beyond the city? There's the city. You see there's the hills, everything burned. That was 2016. Everything burned. About this is everything eucalyptus with no end. This is insanity, pure insanity. Here every summer fire never stops. It got worse, and I got outraged. I said, that has to stop, we have to do something. And then, of course, the state still sustains eucalyptus, invest milliards of euros in eucalyptus, and nothing for our kind of trees. Those are broadleaf trees. They defend the earth. They defend the future. We are creating here forest for the future.
In Portugal also, we are more and more aware that nature, or we could perhaps say it in another way, biosphere, it's our common home.
Problemem jest bardzo słaba gospodarka leśna Portugalii. I myślę, że dobrze byłoby dla Portugalii, żeby przyjęła polski model leśnictwa, naprawdę znakomity, o czym świadczy wzrastające z roku na rok zalesienie Polski.
Trzeba współpracować w sferze transnarodowej. Jeżeli dzisiaj wykształcimy młodego, przyszłego leśnika, żeby zadbali o lasach, jakie one rosną, możemy moim zdaniem skutecznie przeciwdziałać zubożeniu biosfery, które może mieć niespotykanych i nieprzewidzianych skutków dla życia wszystkiego. I tutaj coraz bardziej rozwijamy jeden model, który może być stosowany przez wszystkie szkoły w Europie i w świecie.
Słuchajcie dziewczyny, każdy będzie obstawiał jeden rząd, dobra? To 3,5 metra w dół. Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery, idziemy w dół.
What we have here, this mountain of rest of wood was burned. What we are going to do with it? We have to leave it here. Other go in other places and they burn it. And so on. What they do with the rest on the mountains, they don't build a pile to build earth. They don't do it, they burn it. It's a stupid costume, but it is here. Everywhere it's there. You will see around, there's a fire, there's a fire, there's a fire, there's a fire. It's always by burning. And this costume must maintain. It's just, what do you want? I burn it. So go away, let me in peace. It's mine. So the people mainly have this intuition that is all mine and you cannot interfere in what I'm doing. That's one of the main problems. Second, no education. The government don't talk to the people. Talk only to the bosses from Eucalyptus and other bosses. They don't talk to the people. Nobody talk to the people, it's us. We show our face. We talk to them. We say, people, please understand, you cannot plant always eucalyptus. You create fire. In the past, we had here a system of foresters. They was here everywhere. Still you find the places where they was living. They lived here in the mountains. They created plants. They built up the places over there where you find still a beautiful piece of forest. It was them. In decades, they built this. This state, this Portuguese state, and it's not a matter of the government, of which kind, color of government, all they did together. Wiped it out. Here is no more forester, don't exist anymore. There is one, for this whole area here, is one engineer. He's sitting in Porto, 60 kilometers far from here. He came one time in a week to here, to see here something, there something, he disappeared again. He don't talk to nobody.
Specjalnym podłożem, nie? Po prostu wewnątrz są nasiona, one są już oklejone jakby podłożem.
Widzimy tutaj zupełnie inne spojrzenie i uczymy się go na przyrodę, na szacunek dla każdej sadzonki.
The problem here in Portugal is we have less rain, less precipitation.
Czyli tak, podzieleni będziecie na dwie grupy, jedna grupa pójdzie na dół, druga tam. Tam, gdzie skończone było sadzenie, tam zaczniemy siać. 2 do 5 nawet centymetrów gleby nad. Wszystko jasne? No proste. 2-3 metry na 2-3 metry. I niech idą w liniach, nie? Tu też oprócz tego mamy dęba. O, widzicie, to jest specjalne podłoże. Tak mają tutaj przygotowanie do wysiania, żeby od razu miało też w takich trudnych warunkach i nasiono lata, czyli jest obumarłe. Jak jest wyschnięte, to już nie zadziała.
We plant here something that the next generations have even a possibility to live on. I tell you this really from my heart. I'm so disagree with our society, our way to live. This is the only way I can turn the back to the society and do something good for the future, even for this society now, by not caring what they say or what they want, just doing it. It's the only way to be in peace with this kind of society somehow. There, so we sit here, this place.
Hier sind Bäume und Leine. Nie, chodź tu ze mną, żebyś wszystko wiedział. To wszystkie luki. Tam musi być dosadzone, dosiane, dosadzone.
if we become people that truly are empathic towards others, if we understand a little more deeply and if we feel our connection with nature, we can then be a person, a group that will be in nature, with nature, in a more harmonious way. I am deeply convinced that planting trees is a very, very efficient way to save the planet. Through this desertification of nature, what we are assisting is in a way the materialization of the desertification of our own heart.
Okay, so we make it like this, and all the earth has to go.
Dashbur, które jest pozdrowienie leśników polskich, to jest niby elementem do wykonania refleksji. Biosfera nie może być narzędziem naszego działania, biosfera musi być celem naszego działania, być w symbiozie. I cieszę się ogromnie, że młodzież polska, że młodzież z Portugalii potrafiła się łączyć, łącząc dookoła siebie ruchy społeczeństwa obywatelskiego, tak jak Movimento Gaio na przykład i inni. Niech ten przykład też polski, w której transformacja została rozpoczęta od kilka myślicieli i kilka ogniw, które po prostu uzyskali solidarność, uzyskali wsparcie całego narodu, będzie użyteczne zawsze, także dla całego świata.